All right, so let's talk about the 2/3. Okay, so we're going to go with Ezekiel chapter 5, and I'm going to expose what has been edited out so that we can have a clear understanding of what happened here. All right, so we're going to go to Ezekiel chapter 5, and I'm going to start at verse 5. Thus says Yahweh Eloheka, this is Jerusalem. I have placed her in the midst of the nations, with countries all around her, and she altered my laws so as to sin by them. So who altered the laws? See, it says Jerusalem altered the laws more than the other nations, and my statutes more than the other countries which surrounded her, for they have loathed my laws and have not walked in my statutes. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh Eloheka, because you have sinned more than the nations which surround you, you have not walked in my statutes, nor observed my laws, nor even acted in accordance with the customs of the nations which are around you. Because I want you to pay attention to that line. Nor acted in accordance with the customs of the nations which are around you. Because all of the nations which surround this country, they keep the Abrahamic customs and traditions. That's funny, because people will tell you that you're wrong when you come back to observe your Abrahamic customs and traditions. So, verse 8, therefore, thus says Yahweh Eloheka, as for me, behold, I am sending my anger against you, and I will inflict just punishment in your midst, in the sight of the nations. I will do to you what I have never done, and the like of which I will never do again, on account of your abominations. Therefore, parents shall eat the flesh of their children in your midst, and the children shall eat the flesh of their parents, and I will inflict just punishment upon you. I will scatter all the rest of your peoples in all directions. Therefore, as I live, says Yahweh Eloheka, surely because you have defiled my sanctuary with your detestable things, and with all your abominations, as for me, I will cut off the might of your arms, for my memorah will not spare you, nor will I have pity. So the memorah, that's the commands of the Most High. That's his laws, judgments, and statutes as given unto Moses, and any other command or ordinance or order which he has given you. So if you don't live by the memorah of Yahweh, you're in disobedience and you're in sin. So you'll hear a lot about this, and it stems from what was actually given to Abraham. Pithgama memra lezeku, which was the entirety of the Abrahamic covenant given to him to save him from all the kings around him, Pithgama. So all the nations gather around him, he was going to be saved. Memra was the word of Yahweh, Memra, and he believed and continued in the word of Yahweh, Lezeku, and Abraham was made perfect in that he kept the covenant and that he walked in that covenant, and that was accounted to him for righteousness, and he was perfect. So Lezeku is really what you want. You want to keep the laws. You want to be in the land where you're supposed to be, because then you're not coveting someone else's land. So you're in your land, you're keeping the laws, and then Abba, as I call him, or Ishi, as I call him, or Yahweh, or the Most High, will remove the lamentations and the groanings and all the pain and lamenting, but it starts with returning. Okay? But we'll get to that. I'm going to do another video. So back to those 1/3 business. Verse 12. 1/3 of you shall die by pestilence and be destroyed by famine in the midst of you. 1/3 I will scatter in every direction, and those who slay by the sword I will incite after them. Then my anger shall be consummated, and I will lay to rest my fury towards them, and bring it to an end. And they shall know that I, Yahweh, have decreed it by my memorah, and I have fulfilled it. When my anger at them has been consummated, and I will make you a desolation and a reproach among the nations that surround you, in the sight of everyone who passes by, you shall be a reproach and a boasting against you, a waste and a desolation to the nations around you. When I impose just punishment upon you in wrath and fierce fury and fierce anger, I, Yahweh, have decreed it by my memorah. So if you look at the laws, all the curses that you see in Deuteronomy 27 and Deuteronomy 28, and of course, throughout the law. I mean, well, if you have a Targumic point of view, you'll see curses and punishments for actions and deeds throughout the law. So all of that is the memorah. So he says, when I let loose against you devastating famines, severe afflictions, which lead to destruction, which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and I will break off your food supply. So the 1/3 that you're talking about is the 1/3 that just survived the destruction of Israel. Okay, so even from before 70 AD. So when you go back to the scattering of the 10 northern tribes, well, then Judah hung on for a time, and you had the southern kingdom of Judah, and they were here up until quote unquote 70 AD, and then they were scattered for the same reasons. You see, you can't change this law. You can't change the memorah of Yahweh. So this whole 1/3 that you're looking for now from this chapter in Ezekiel, it's not talking about that. They made it look like that. And I know people like to believe that the Vatican hold these books sacred. They don't hold them sacred, they hold them secret, because they edited them. And if they let the actual original text that they stole out, it would speak otherwise, you know. But the text that they converted was the text that we converted, not to keep the law, to make it easier on us. It says so right here in the book that we changed it. So we changed this interpretation so to make it easier, so we didn't have to keep the law. And there you guys are, you know, gullible, you know, you're reading it. It says this happened and somebody died and you don't have to keep the law. That's a Christian belief, the Christian doctrine, and you go keep the law. Then you don't keep it. That's the Christian way. Then you have some of the Hebrews, they're looking for the Messiah or King Mashiach, and they want to believe that the person that died, he's going to be the one to save them. And it says, no, you return. And eventually, Yahweh has already decreed by his memorah that he's going to bring you back by force. So, as I'm reading to you what it says, I just want you to think and understand that, you know, a lot of you are only dying and being killed for your lack of knowledge. And that's what it says. You know, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. It's not that you're not hearing the truth, because if you're watching this video, you heard it. And it's not that you don't, it's just that you're not believing it because of your indoctrination. Because you haven't left the land of your captivity. You haven't returned. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep the law as you receive it from what you believe. But after I've done my research and after I've come here to the land and dug through all the books, because I'll keep the law. You know, that's part of my vow and my oath. It was to find the law and keep the law and change. If this law was insufficient, then if you give me a better law, because you promised to keep the law. So now that I found this, I'm teaching this. I'm quite sure some of you can find some of my old videos where I was under Christian doctrines and beliefs, and you'll find videos after that, and I subscribe to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and now this is where I am. There is only the member, and if there is another one after this, even a more detailed law to walk in it unto Yah, I'll keep that too. But the whole 2/3 thing is not for the regathering of Israel. The 2/3 being cut off, or the 1/3. That was just 1/3 survived out of the when they came to destroy Israel. So I just wanted y'all to hear that. I mean, because I'm reading it. You know, I guess if y'all want to see the text, let me make it so you can see the text, if I can. But I'll try it this way. You see, 1/3 will die by pestilence. See that? And be destroyed in the family. I know it's kind of difficult to do it this way with the front-facing camera, and my camera doesn't turn around while it's filming. But I just wanted you guys to see that and understand, or hear that and understand that it's not that 1/3 is going to survive the regathering. You know, a lot. You know, he's going to purge out the rebellious, and he's definitely going to cut off all the heads and all the leaders, all the leadership, especially the ones that's teaching the people in error, because it's the indoctrination of the people. You know, a lot of these women teachers are, he calls them black patches. I'm going to probably go read that again, that they're causing people to die and die in their sins because of what they're teaching. But, you know, they don't want to believe the Targums. They want to believe, you know, what their literature is. But I'm here in the land, sustained in the land, without any concessions, just being obedient to the Most High. So if this works for me, it works for everybody. Not that I'm anybody special, you know, but this is the foundations of it. So if you want to come back and you want to learn the Torah, you have to first receive the truth of the teachings of the Torah in its full detail, to return back to the memra of Yahweh Elohaka. So that's the end of this video. It's a bit long, about 12 minutes, but hey, what can I say? I had to explain what we're reading.